Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a video looking at the My Goals Goal Digger Planner for 2020. This is a B5 book. This is the bold edition and this is how it comes packaged in this lovely box that gives some information on the back there, which you can have a quick read of. It gives some sort of specifics, which I'll go through a few of these in a minute, but you know, there's a few quotes and things like that. So yeah, this is the box, but that's not what we're interested in. Now this was sent to me by My Goals to have a look at and review. It comes with a little ticket thing, another sort of quote page, 5 ways to achieve your goals in 2020. So there's lots of information in this that is about goal management and habit tracking and things like that. And I think it's a really interesting way of incorporating this into a planner. And this is quite a detailed planner, and as I said, this is quite big. You know, it's a big sort of heavy planner. It's B5 size, and just to put that into context, here is a standard A5 Leuchtturm, so you can see the size difference there. You can also see the difference in the width. It's quite a sizable book, and also heavy, so it's something to be aware of if this is what you're going to look into getting. Just a quick look at the outside. We've got this sort of faux leather cover with Goal Digger there, embossed in black. On the side it's got 2020, and then just My Goals there on the back. Nice sort of sturdy, sort of semi-flexible cover. Feels like it'll be quite rugged. Now obviously this is new, it's not for use until 2020, and I'm looking forward to sort of giving it a run through 2020 and showing you the results sort of towards the end of the year. Let's do a quick walkthrough, then I'll show you some ink tests and some initial little pros and cons and things that I've come up with. First, let's just to cover some basics. B5, 300 pages of 100 GSM paper. It's got 2 ribbons for bookmark ribbons. It's eco-friendly, and as the packaging suggests, this is fountain pen friendly. So as it's good for goal setting and habit tracking, as well as planning as like a diary. It's, you know, in the vague sense, it's a week to a page. Find out just a simple weekly spread there. So week to a page with we'll go over this in a little bit more detail in just a second. It has room for notes at the back and sort of mind mapping and all those sorts of things. And it's really, really sort of comprehensive planner. So let's walk through. End papers are black, and you get My Goals written there. Some information. Another brand new year is here, and you now have another 366 new opportunities to fulfill your potential. Continues, and make some commitments and lots more sort of writing in there, which you can all read. I'm not going to go through all of this. A lot of this book tells you how to plan it and how to do the goal tracking, and I'm not going to cover that today. I think that's important if you get the book, which I think it's a really great planner if that's what you're into, but I just want to show you sort of what's in here. So we start with my core values and a purpose, allows you to sort of track some of that. And then a toolkit for success, accountability partners, dream team, things that make me happy, songs that make me feel alive, places that make me happy, and things that I'm good at to keep you on track and inspired and all of that. Wins and lessons from 2019. It lets you reflect on the previous year and then rate your life. Now this has got a beginning of the year and end or start of the year and end of the year for relationships, health and fitness, career, business, finance, travel and adventures, and spirituality. So you can rank 1 out of 10 sort of how you found yourself at the beginning of the year, then at the end of the year, and see sort of how you've gone. It allows you to do future planning. So in 3 months time, you know, I will see 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, and then a vision board. So, you know, sort of things that inspire you, places you want to visit, that sort of thing. Then we get to the goals. Now, here's where you get a whole lot of information, which I'm not going to cover because I think that's actually important when you get the book. But it's how to set goals, how to achieve them, how to follow them, and how to use this book to help you in that. How to set long-term goals. how to, all of that sort of stuff. And then we get into the bit where it's about the goals. So goal 1, what sort of goal it is, what and why, what is the feeling I'm chasing, when do I want to achieve this goal by, and then things to do, key milestones, reward, outcome, and the date completed. So lots of ways of planning and tracking your goal setting, which is a really cool thing, and there's room for a number of these goals here. So there's 7 goals there, short-term goals, and then long-term goals. Here we go into goal 1 with the brainstorming and mind mapping. Once again, the what, the why, the when, the how, and the reward. And then milestones, things like what are significant, what are the essential next steps before moving forward on your goal. All of these sorts of things are really important. The key milestones, goal review once it's done. So once you have completed that goal, you can then reflect on it, and that'll help you to know how to look into future goals and how to achieve more in your, and be, I suppose, better at managing those goals, is by seeing what worked and what didn't. As like with the other one, there's a room for a number of these goals here. Then we get to the planner itself, and this is where, for me, this gets particularly handy to have. Like, all of this space so far has been about achieving goals and reflecting, and then once we get into the planner, we're actually into how to run your life and plan your life. So it gives you the tools to sort of how to reflect on it and all of that. Okay, so then we get the calendar for 2020 and 2021 with some room for important dates at the bottom, a list of public holidays. So all those sort of standard things that you'd hope to get in a diary or planner are included in this book. Then we get to 2020 at a glance. How do I want to feel in 2020? What am I looking forward to? Grateful for, habits that you want to kick, habits you want to adapt, and face my fears. Then we get the goals. So you get room for a quote of the year, then 5 top goals for 2020 and places to visit. Then we go into the month, so January goals, and this gives you room for the focus on the goal and how to focus on it and all those sorts of things, and notes and planning. It's a really sort of handy layout. I like a lot of this. And then we get the monthly planner, which is basically just the monthly calendar. And what I really like about this is that it puts the business days, but it actually focuses on the weekend. And traditionally, of course, weekends are you time. So you work during the week and you have weekends a bit more time. It actually allows you to focus on that and give a bit of emphasis to it, which is where you can achieve a lot of sort of your personal goals and all of those sorts of things. It's a really nice idea. And then we get the weekly spread. So you get the days of the week down the side with 3 lines and then some open space. So you can map appointments, you can map to-do lists, key things you need to achieve on those days. And then on the other side here, this is every week, what you're grateful for, your weekly goals, so things you want to achieve that week, habit tracking, and then things to do, notes, and top 3 wins. Then at the bottom here, you can rate your week, and every week has a sort of inspirational quote at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to say right now a couple of things I really like about this. Firstly, you've got plenty of space for actual planning of the week. Your appointments, your work things, your work to-do list, all those sorts of things. There's also this lovely space for focusing on goals and habits and you. So it takes elements from things like the bullet journal system and other journaling systems and incorporates them into this sort of pre-formed planner. I love the font. I love that it's not straight pure black. It's like a dark grey font or print. It's nice. It's well, I suppose it would be black, but it's not like a big bold black. It looks nice on the page. The font choice is great. It's clean, it's clear. I really like that about this book. My goals have put a lot of effort into creating here a planner that gives you the tools you need to achieve what you want to achieve. It allows you to track them and see your progression, and I think that's really important. So then we get those weeks going through, right through to the end of the month, and then at the end of the month you get the January review, top 3 things I accomplished this past month, how do I feel about the progress of my long-term goals this month, and it's got the goals there, and you can write a line. What I'm focusing on this month for each goal, and then what are my major challenges this coming month, and how will I overcome these challenges. Gives you time to both reflect and look forward, and then gives you a mind mapping page, which is with a sort of standard dot grid. So while a lot of the space is open and lined, the dot gridded mind mapping pages are important for being able to, have free form planning of it. You can draw. You don't have to be sort of bound to a lined space. And then we continue into February, where we get the planner again, the calendar again, and then the weeks. So that continues right through to the end of the year. And then we get a year in review, which is just a nice way of a nice space to reflect on the year. We get some budgeting space, income, expenses, all those sorts of things, and then a summary of your cash flow. And you can also list your saving goal at the top. And then we get note space. So the note space is lined on one side and blank on the other. Once again, the blank space not tying you into a particular format if you want to do, things like drawing or, proper mind mapping. And then note space, you do have lined pages. And they continue right to the end of the book, where on one of the final ones, I have done an ink test. So this is looking at the quality of the paper. As I said at the beginning, this is 100 GSM paper. And I've tried a number of different inks on this, including California Teal there, which gets a nice little bit of sheen, which is excellent. And you can see there that most of the inks perform really well. The colours look vibrant, there's no bleeding or feathering, and I've used everything from sort of extra fine nibs through to stub nibs, and then ballpoints, roller balls, and a Sharpie and highlighter. The Blackwing doesn't rub out particularly well on first go. There is a little bit of sort of tooth on this paper. It's not rough, but there is sort of texture to it. It's not a coated paper like a Rhodia or a Clairefontaine. If we look at the back, what we see is that the Bay State Blue came through a little bit. The Sharpie marker came through. It's an alcohol-based marker, so you expect that. But not even the swab from California Teal broke through. None of the writing does. This is really good quality paper in a really well-made book. So as a walkthrough, that's what you get with this. As I said, I wasn't going to go over in detail a lot of what the book suggests and all of that. I think that's important, that if this is the sort of book you're after, this is the sort of planning you want to do, that this is a book you get and you can learn from it and use those tools once the book is in your possession. Otherwise, well, you're getting something for nothing. So let's do some pros and cons. What do I love? What do I hate? Well, we'll start with hate is a strong word. My only two criticisms of this are, firstly, there is limited space for free work. There's the mind mapping pages, there's the note pages at the back, but there is a lot covered in the 300 pages of this book. And because of that, a lot of it is tied up in the goal setting and the planning, which is why you would get a book like this as well. So it's a pro and a con. The other thing is that you are very much tied into their system, the system that they have created for goal setting and habit tracking and all of that. So if that works for you, that's great. If you're used to coming from a bullet journal system where there's the freedom of that, you might just want to look and see if this is going to cover what you want it to cover. Okay, so what do I love? Well, I love the design. I think this is a great looking book. I'm a big fan of sort of blacked out things, and so with the black edging on the page, black ribbons, even black glossed embossing, on the book, it's a beautiful looking book. It's also super solid. Like, it's rugged. That's, with these nicely rounded corners and sort of a sturdy, flexible cover, I think this will take a beating. It would be something you'd expect to last you all year and to be standing up for archiving afterwards, which I think would be a really nice thing to look at once, a few years down the track, and see how you achieved some of those goals and all of all of that, because some of these long-term goals will be longer than a year for a lot of people. So that's a really nice quality of this book, is that it is just a really good quality, well-made product. It's a really good size. As I said, bigger than A5. So if we're looking once again at the Leuchtturm standard A5 book, it's bigger, which will be a pro and a con for some people, because there's more space in it, but also it's going to be bigger to fit into into bags and things like that. I think that there's a lot going for B5. A4 is a big format, whereas B5 is sort of nice in that middle sort of range. But because you do have quite a lot sort of to cover on each of these pages, I think if it was smaller, I think you'd actually end up feeling very cramped and very tight in the space. It's got great paper. As I said with these ink tests, like nothing really came through. The Sharpie marker did in Bay State Blue, but that comes through everything, and that's come through not a lot really. So everything sort of performs really well. The sheen, it's just a nice quality paper. So they've done a really great job sourcing paper here that handles a number of different sort of tools, ink and highlighters, and it's really very, very good. I think the planning system and the goal setting is well sorted out and well laid out, and it's well planned. It gives the user a lot of freedom within that to express their own ideas. Something I'm looking forward to doing is actually tracking a few of my goals, particularly career-oriented goals, where I can sort of set something and work towards it month by month and actually see the progress, but in my own way. I'm not tied into doing things a particular way. You're just tied into the layout of this journal. Other things I love is that it's a Melbourne company. I'm from Melbourne. My Goals is based here in Melbourne. It's designed here in Melbourne, made overseas, but designed here in Melbourne. And I like that. I want to support Australian companies, and this is a good one. And you know what? They are building and growing and expanding, and that's great. There's a number of retailers now who stock their items here in Australia. So they're widely available, internationally available, so check them out. Places like Milligram stock My Goals products. You can also buy directly from My Goals. And buying this book is something that we come to right now. So the cost of this is $44.95 Australian, which is actually pretty good. This puts you on par with most other planners of this sort of size, but a lot of them don't have the features that this one has. They might have like the weekly layout and things like that, but they don't have like the goal planning and the tracking and all of that, which I think is actually the strength of this book. It is called the Goal Digger after all. So I think that there's a uniqueness to this. I'm going to be reviewing a couple of other planners over the next couple of months, and I think that month or so, and you'll see just a couple of different sort of ways of setting out planners, and the fact that this one is so orientated on personal progress as opposed to just planning, your appointments and shopping lists and things like that. This makes this a really unique book. And also I think the build quality and the design of this is really lovely and quite unique. So if you're not familiar with it, check it out. Go and look at them online. If you can get to a store that has them, look at them in person, feel the paper. It's really nice. So this was the My Goals Goal Digger 2020 planner. I hope you found this video useful and interesting. I know I find this particular book very useful and very interesting, and I'm looking forward to using it myself. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at @the_offstage_me, or you can contact me on any of my videos here or drop me an email, which is listed down below. Yeah, if there's products you think I should be looking at, get in touch, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel, get in touch and let's see what we can do. In the meantime, enjoy your planners, enjoy setting up your own system or following one of these systems as laid out in one of these beautifully set out planners, and I'll talk to you later.